Magandang umaga, gising na Pilipinas. You know, with the COVID-19 virus going around and increasing, not just around the world, but even specifically here in the Philippines, it's increased quite a bit. Are you scared? It's okay to be nervous. It's okay to be a little fearful, to take precautions, but are you scared? Because to be scared is not good. Because to be scared means that you're battling to trust that God is in control and that He has a plan for your life. Are you scared? Let's look at Joshua chapter 1 in verse 8. You know, when we are scared, which sometimes as disciples, we have to understand that where we're at spiritually is not in the best place. But that's the best thing about God and Jesus is that we can make a decision to repent and do the right thing. And in moments that we are scared, we are, gripped by fear, we just have to make a decision to look to God for strength. And in Joshua chapter 1, they've crossed the Jordan River, and now they're getting ready to enter into the promised land. But so much has happened. You have to understand where Joshua's at mentally. Before they crossed the Jordan River, two things happened. Number one, the Israelites had just got done wandering in the desert for 40 years because of their faithlessness to enter the promised land, because of a bad report they were given by 10 of the 12 spies. It was a true report, but a faithless report, that the people there are huge, they're advanced, there's no way we're going to be able to do it. That's not necessarily changed. So Joshua has to be faithful, which he was, and now he will be. But also Moses has died. God has taken Moses away, and now Joshua has succeeded him as the leader. This is Joshua's real first leadership task, is to take the people in to conquer the promised land. And this is what God tells him. He says in verse 6, "Be strong and courageous, because you will lead these people to inherit the land I swore to their fathers to give them. Be strong and very courageous. Be careful to obey all the law my servant Moses gave you. Do not turn from it to the right or the left, that you may be successful wherever you go. Do not let this book of the law depart from your mouth. Meditate on it day and night, so that you may be careful to do everything written in it. Then you will be prosperous and successful. Have I not commanded you? Be strong and courageous. Do not be terrified. Do not be discouraged, for the Lord your God will be with you wherever you go." This is what God told Joshua. 3 times he tells Joshua, be strong and be courageous. The second time he says, be very courageous. It's one thing to be strong and courageous for ourselves. It's another when you have to be strong and courageous for the people around you. He says, you got to be strong and you have got to be very courageous, because I've chosen you. You're going to lead these people into the promised land. But how about for you? Do you realize that God has chosen and called you, that you are going to be the one to lead people to God? In a moment like this, we cannot be gripped by fear. We cannot be scared. People need to see your example of faithfulness, because you are going to point them to God. And if you're afraid, if you're scared, you can't be the example that they need. Joshua was feeling a lot of things, and yet he made a decision. The solution to being scared is bravery. And bravery is an issue of dignity. I'm going to be brave. Not because I want to, not because it's easy, but because it's the right thing to do. And I don't know what your circumstances are. I don't know what you're feeling. Have the dignity and the faith to make the decision to be brave. In spite of challenges and fears, be brave. One of my favorite examples of bravery is my daughter. I remember we were in Guam visiting the church there, and they have a weekly event called the Chamorro Village, where they have activities and food, and one of them was a rock climbing wall. And I took Mina, and I said, "You want to climb the rock wall?" She goes, Then like 2 minutes later, she's like, Dad, I want to climb the wall. So we go to the wall. I get in there. They go, she's a bit too small, but because of her persistence, they go, okay, we'll let her do it, but you gotta stand there. Well, of course, I'll stand there. So then Mina gets up to the wall. She starts to get a little scared as they start to put the harness on, and then they put the belt or the cord on. And then she puts her first foot up, and then her second foot, and then she goes, "Dad, I'm scared." And she goes, "I don't want to do it. I don't want to do it." She kind of starts crying, And I go, you can do it, you can do it, you can do it. And after like a minute or so of like, I don't know, and she looks at me, she has this line, she goes, I'm not scared, I am brave. And so then she goes to the wall, she takes 1 foot, 2, 3, and then she starts climbing the wall to the point that she's above where I can even reach her. Then her hand slipped, she fell, and she was good after that. But she did it in her mind. She did it. She didn't reach the bell, but she was brave. And I think that's the encouragement for all of us. What you say and how you behave says something to the people around you. That if they don't see a visible faith in you, if they don't see a bravery, that though, yes, the COVID-19 is concerning, it's an issue, it's a pandemic, that's one thing. But if they see that it is taking control of your spirit, that's not good. Especially if you're a mom and a dad, if you're an older brother, sister, if you lead a Bible discussion or you lead a ministry, you need to be brave for your people. You need to be brave for yourself. My challenge to us is very simple. Act, don't react. As Kit McCain once taught me, when you're doing ministry, act, don't react. When we're caught off guard, we have to have the dignity, the bravery to stop, control ourselves, and take action. Do the right thing. I want to encourage you every single day to pray, not to be ruled by fear of the COVID-19 and what's going on around you. The reality is that before the COVID-19, the harvest was plentiful, like Jesus said in Matthew 9. Even right now, the harvest is plentiful. It's the workers that are few. If you are scared, you're not a worker. You cannot infect change on those around you. People could walk up to you with it written on their foreheads, I want to study the Bible, and you're not going to notice it because you're focused on the wrong things. Every day, take action. Pray to be brave, to be strong and courageous, because you will lead people to a relationship with God. Have a great day.